Okay, welcome to my 248k run on a ribbon world with a rail grid. We're pretty late into the game on this one. We've launched a bunch of rockets. We're doing some like post-rocket tech. There's still a lot to do in the 248k mod. And we're kind of mega basing stuff. And today is going to be about green chips. This is not the biggest green chips build in the world. This is just kind of a prelude. But yeah, we're going to rebuild this one first because I've disliked this for a while and just avoided doing anything about it because it kind of was getting stuff done. And yeah, now we're going to actually make this thing good. I think I cut off these, let's not do this with my bots, I think I cut off the inputs to this a while ago as well, and then put them back, realizing I wasn't in a position to actually set this up any differently yet. But we'll cut that off now to try and drain some of these things. And yeah, things I don't like about this build, it gets most of what it needs to do done. We're not getting a whole lot of productivity out of the coils, which is a bit of a shame. We've also got a lot of tier 1 modules in this. Like 10 tier 1 modules. And I reckon instead we could use these fancy tier 3 modules. Tier modules? Fancy tier 3 beacons. We're already getting tier 3 beacons through these tier 3 modules through these tier 1 beacons, just not very many. If we use the tier 3 beacons to get more tier 3 modules, that's, yeah, better. Cool. So that's what we're going to try and do. This is also still in the main grid, so I could probably just drop all of this, and I think we will. I think we're just going to go... Yeah, we're not getting a whole lot more green chips out of this at this point. In fact, give me some of these assemblers and some of these back. Not that I want them, I just want to be able to blueprint things with them, and then bots can get rid of all of this stuff, and we still have, you know, a couple of these nice, fast, modded bots doing this stuff. I think these probably all want to be red. Sure, okay. And then, yeah, okay, so we kind of need all that stuff to be the bots to deal with all of that stuff. Never mind. This we're also just going to have be red belt. Then we can get some of these things out the way, and I guess if they're all, because the ribbon is pretty wide at the moment. And the main mall is all the way, like, where are the labs? Yeah, the labs are over here, doing just bot lab things. We've got enough of every science except for yellow science, actually. We've got a decent surplus of blue science. The yellow science train is really getting filled up, and it's the purple science that kind of is keeping up, which is interesting. And then, yeah, this whole red chips thing, we are working towards having a lot more red chips, like... The logistic chaos station of just every train station is here, and then all these active provider chests just dump stuff over here. So this area here is probably where, oh yeah, and then all this Covrix that I think probably needs to be speed module, but I don't think it really matters. Yeah, this is the storage where the bots are going to be bringing everything, which is probably why tearing this thing down is going to be taking. Okay. Changed my mind. Let's actually do this with my bots as well, because they're all just right here rather than... Yeah, okay. So let's not worry about that yet. Let's go and build... While they're all getting that stuff done, let's go and build this new kind of green chips plan that we want, and then put it in later. And we want... We're still going to do direct insert coils to chips, because that's how that works. These need to be something like that, but the main thing we want to do is we want to have these tier 1 beacons. We want the tier 3 beacons, and they can go something like this. And then I think, like, the number of these things I can fit in, something like that. How far does this one... Okay, so if I got rid of these ones, and this with the beacon was like the standard unit of of production. I think that is going to do most of what I need it to. I don't actually have the red belt, so let's just like ignore the rails for the moment and run across here just so we can queue that. Because if we have... Yeah, we can have... We still need to substation this because there's no way to power these inserters. But the other thing I'm thinking about is how... Like, I kind of want to power... Why? Where is it? Yeah, I kind of want to power these two on so that I can see what speed we've got here. Because the thing that strikes me is the build we just blasted was only really dealing with... I mean, we've got like a red lane of iron and maybe 2 red lanes of copper, but that was also because we weren't really getting the productivity bonuses. So if we're dealing with... Like, if we're dealing with a 1 red belt of iron, then we need to get to, what, 7.5 is the craft speed of 10 tier 2 assemblers, which is a full belt, a full yellow belt of material. So we need to get to crafting speed of 15. And we've got 3, okay, 3, 6, 12, 24. So this little build here, yeah, this will actually be everything we need. Yeah, because when it's not powered, these things aren't giving their boosts, and then I can't actually see what speeds these things are, and these things have got non-standard beacon combinations, which makes all of that kind of weird. So this little build here will be everything we need to replace the build we just blasted. So that's one of the reasons why this is good. The other thing that's still a bit of a quirk here is we have to figure out... Okay, what do I have? I'm pretty sure I have substations. Yeah, where can these things go? Okay, so... Oh, wait, no. That's not true at all. Because I'm in this strange world of this being as large a build as I need, the substations can actually go, like, here and just cover everything, and then I don't need to worry. Because I was wondering about trying to figure out how I would belt braid this kind of stuff and also fit the substations in over here, and the answer to that is I don't worry about it at all. I just have the substations going the other way, because we're really only interested in having a build this size. Okay, so have we cleared all the space yet? We have not yet cleared all the space. Okay, fine. So we've got a red belt of stuff here. We've got these, where are they? Yeah, so the copper's going to be on the inside, which is fine. All of these things we're going to redo slightly. Can we have... Yeah, let's just... do a thing like this. We'll make this red, we'll make these... I just said that I didn't really need 2 red belts of stuff, did I? Whatever, we're gonna go with that anyway. It's gonna be fine. Things that will be fine. Do we have... I would have expected to have... Yeah, here are some red splitters. Yeah, this is all a bit of a mess. I think... Is this build staying? I guess if I'm making this as permanent as I am, then this build is kind of staying in some sense, but never mind. Okay, let's grab this thing. These belts need to go this way. They can go like over here or something. Sure, that's as big as that needs to be. And then that's a good place for that. Oh, these guys don't actually... The issue with the substations here is that they don't actually power the inserters that the chips will need on the outside, but also whatever. And then... Here is where a thing can go? Yeah, sure. And then I did put a splitter there, which means all of this just can be red here, and this is going to be more than we actually need, which is fine. Okay. And then... Yeah, so we've got the iron over here. If I just did this with a red belt, then yeah, we can actually do the pretty standard thing where we just... Although that means that... like if I do the thing where the iron is on the inside and the green chips are on the outside, then I guess that's still fine, because we can still just run it down here and prioritize it over here, and then this feed to this extra train station can just be in a different place. Okay, sure, whatever. It's going to be fine. The things we are not going to worry about. Here, cram this in here, that's going, yeah, so all of this stuff we're also going to do differently. This interchange we're going to do differently. Oh, my bots are still on. I wasn't going to be doing this with my bots, but never mind. Upgrade that guy. Okay, and then we can, yeah, we'll just do all of this with... We'll just do all of this with stack inserters, because why not? And so this is going to give us, yeah, iron on the inside, green chips on the outside. That's fine. Where's do I have? I have some of these purples. Yeah, I don't want to be doing this with my bots for no particular reason. Yeah, shop. Oh, except that's not actually going to connect. These substations are, yeah, kind of long-range things that are annoying, aren't they? Never mind. Okay. Bunch of red chips, and then we need more red undergrounds, because all of this is currently just kind of red underground stuff. They are not in the middle. I don't think I... Do we mind? How much do we mind about that? Maybe only a little. That's still fine. Okay, so now we are trying to put all of these things on the same side of the red belt, so that's not going to work. The thing we actually need to do first... Yeah, so this is going to have to go... that's the wrong way around, isn't it? We need to get... I guess the thing we do is we just do the... I mean, we are supposed to be in... We are supposed to be in a kind of mega base phase of let's use splitters as little as possible. Yeah, okay, fine. Is that true? Can we just do... Yeah, I think we can just do something like that instead. So we're going to sideload onto the outside of this belt, and then this one is going to sideload onto the inside, and we are fine. We're going to have a lot of green chips, and then this thing is again just going to split, like, I guess, here, and then we're going to have one of these, like, here. And then all of this is we're just gonna continue doing the same kind of thing. When was I unable to queue the thing we wanted to queue? Whatever. Okay. Back over here. Yeah, so we are... This is hopefully going to rebuild the green chips for the original red chips that we didn't like. This one I want to actually give you... Yeah, and so we're not even... Maybe we should actually... Yeah, okay, let's upgrade this as well, and also upgrade this, so if ever something does back up, we will be able to get out all the green chips we want, but this station is also kind of... Yeah, it's a bit weird, oh well. But yeah, that is the smaller, more heavily beaconed version of what we want to be doing here, and that's... Yeah, the version that's not particularly interesting. So let's go and work on the interesting one. This is kind of the shape we want to end up with, but the scale of this is still like one red belt of iron in, and one red belt of copper in. I mean, productivity bonuses, weirdnesses like that, whatever. This is not how much we want to be working on this. What we want to do instead, I think I have most of the things I need for this build. I probably don't. We want to do a bigger build in the space that I have prepared over here, which is why... Oh, are you on the tracks the wrong way? Cool. Yeah. So there's quite a bit of stuff over here which we haven't really played with well, that we haven't seen yet, because I was playing with it between episodes. We've got the grid going out into the water, which is pretty important. We're going past the rest of the base, which is, you know, mostly pretty fine. How much fuel did I give this? Yeah, enough, fine. And yeah, the things we've been working on the last couple of episodes are, like, we did a giant ceramics thing, because giant redships are going to need that. We've got a lot more power grid, including this kind of fusion power grid stuff that we're just kind of driving past, because we're going to need that. Here are the Spidertrons that we don't need anymore, because we console moded out all of the biters, because we're in kind of big world stage. And yeah, we were looking at Star Engine stuff, and then how to get enough, like, fission materials to do everything we needed to with the Star Engine. And then also trying to figure out, and this is what I came up with, for plugging a bunch of things that aren't here yet into the oil refineries, into enough pumps, into stuff to... Is this the... I don't know whether this is going to be the copper or iron one. I guess this is going to be the copper one. Yeah, heated copper. Why don't I have... I don't know. We'll figure that out later. It's fine. And yeah, and so this... These things here are the paths that the Spidertrons were using to traverse this while I was visiting neighbors and leaving gifts and things like that. But they're not here anymore, so it's fine. Yeah, because there's kind of... I was mucking around with this quite a bit to try and figure out how to cram all of the offshore pumps in, because there's a bit of ratio work in here, and I ended up with 2 phases of blueprints, of which this is kind of not the first phase, because I moved the tanks around to have the Star Engine somewhere else. So let's go and work on the bottom one. And then I also had the Spidertron over here as well, because all of this water and kind of... Oh, you had the other cooling unit. Okay, fine. Lithium, sulfur, copper is the one we wanted. Yeah, because this is just a whole lot easier for me to just not worry about what is or isn't landfilled yet. And for various reasons, I want... Yeah, the first stage of... Yeah, I want all of these things to line up. For a couple of reasons. Let's put it there. Yeah, so we've still got to do... Do I not have... Neither of us have landfill. Did I put the landfill on the train? I put the landfill on the train. Okay. Yeah, for various reasons, we want those builds to line up. Partly for aesthetics. Oh, this is not going to be enough landfill, is it? Interesting. Okay, so landfill is the first on the list of things I'm going to need. But yeah, this is all kind of weird, because the first stage of blueprint needs to happen twice, because first all the landfill has to go down, and then we've got to put all the things down. But a lot of this includes, like, a lot of... Do I not have offshore pumps? Do I not actually have offshore pumps with me? Do you not have offshore pumps either? Does the train have... Okay, let's just grab everything that was in the train, because we kind of need a lot of this stuff. 7... Okay, yeah, a lot of offshore pumps. Thermochemical separators. Yeah, this is... Yeah, all of these things. I needed all of these things. And then all of these things we will definitely need... Oh, lots of heat pipe. We'll definitely need these as well. In fact... Heating unit left side? Yeah, that's what I want. These two. And then... Cooling unit top side. Yeah. Yeah, so we've got to do, like, the first stage of blueprints twice anyway. Once for the landfill, and then once for all of the entities. But then also it's important to... Do I still have... 14, okay, yeah. It's important to get all of these pumps built before we move on to the second stage of blueprints, because one of the weirdnesses about how I've set this up, and also this weird hole in this reactor at the moment, the second stage of blueprints is it this one? Yes. Also has all the landfill, but also a lot of the landfill that goes in the second stage will invalidate a bunch of these offshore pumps. So they all need to go in the first stage, but then also that second stage blueprint we've got to do a second time again to get all of these things in. And yeah, now we've got Not enough oil refineries, cool. But the other thing I wanted to do here was have, because I think this is for various reasons. This is going to take ages to actually get everything up to heat. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to slap in a couple of these. And then, yeah, let's just... Oh, I didn't bring any nuclear fuel with me. This hopefully will we'll pull these two up later, but hopefully that will get, like, the extra neighborhood bonus and the extra reactors will help us get all of those up to an operational heat a little faster. I don't know that I have enough landfill to make the rest of this work, because we basically want this again, but here. Okay, and then we've got to have more landfill here or something. It's gonna be kind of ugly. That's gonna annoy me. Okay, so does that fit? Yes. Okay, so star engine. We can hopefully make a star engine thing work. This one is going to be the iron one, except the inputs are still protium, so yeah. So yeah, then because this setup is got all the tanks at the bottom, so the star engine can be at the bottom, and then this one has got all the tanks at the top, and you can't just mirror these things because they're built-ins with fluid inputs, which means we've got to, for the second stage of this, we actually need to do all of that with grabbing tiles as well, because it's got all the landfill underneath. Cool. And so this thing here should be the blueprint we need to slot in here. Oh wow, this is the point where I run over landfill? Okay, fine. Okay, so we need to go back to get more stuff anyway. We needed landfill. We got all the offshore pumps, didn't we? Let's just actually check that we got all the offshore pumps, because in fact I should still have... Yeah, I've still got 4 offshore pumps in my inventory, so that's fine. We didn't need... We maybe need a little more heat pipe, but we need the oil refineries. I don't know if we've got enough fuel, but we need that as well. We probably need more rail, because we've got to do a lot of those kinds of things as well. Okay, fine. Let's just go back to the base and, like, pick up some stuff and then talk about some things as we go. Yeah, we'll go back to the core, because that's where everything is when we pick things up. And yeah, let's talk about... Yeah, we don't actually have a complete version of either of these, do we? Which is a bit of a shame. But let's talk about, like, why these ratios are what they are, although I've made that a little bit more difficult by being further away and not being able to open these up. But basically, these... Do I have... Oh, it's in star engine recipes, yeah. Heated protium needs 13,000 protium per second, which is quite a lot. So the way this is set up, and there's also, yeah, there's like beacons in the middle of this thing that don't exist yet. There's, oh yeah, this one is a better example for things for at least being kind of built. So the way this thing is set up is each of these outside tanks will receive from 2 oil refineries, and these oil refineries, if these beacons are up to speed, I guess this is also the red chip shortage, each of these will run at speed 3, which is partly from the beacons, partly from the speed mods in between, and then there's another one in the middle. Actually, if this way, yeah, okay, other things to deal with as well. There's another one which is just at speed 1, and so between 4 at speed 3 and 1 at speed 1, that's a total of speed 13, which happens to be for the fusion recipe that we're looking at, not that one, it's the protium one. Whereas, yeah, this is the oil refinery one, yeah. So this is 100,000 hydrogen in 100 seconds. This is about 1,000 a second. So if we get 13 crafting speed, essentially, of oil refineries worth of stuff into here, this will fully utilize one of the heating units of one side of the star engine. Then I was looking at, like, if I could have one of these, and actually you can't rotate these, you need to the build of, yeah, the other side of the building. There just wasn't a lot of good space to try and get a fully utilized Star Engine here, and also turned out to be way more than I needed anyway, never mind. What do I need? Oh yeah, I needed this box, that's why I left that here. Give me all of this, give me some of these. I've got a bunch of this stuff that I would rather not have. Is this that's a beacon 1, which I don't want. I probably have more of these thermochemical separators than I really care about. And yeah, then I think, oh, you don't have train stations. Does this one? Yeah, we're going to need a bunch of train stations. We're going to need a bunch of trains as well, aren't we? I've only got 2 of these. 4 train stations. 4 of these, and then, yeah, then if I have 12 of these, and then where are my... Here are my train nuclear reactors. Yeah, okay, so now we've got some stuff to set up some trains as well. Oh, we're going to need a couple of fluid wagons for reasons. Okay, so that's 12. Yeah, okay, I'll just change my mind about how many of these things we need. Cool, fine. Is that... Oh no, I thought I was going to need more nuclear fuel as well, didn't I? Okay, I guess we run over here to get some more nuclear fuel because... Yeah, one of the reasons why we set all of this stuff up again is that realized that nuclear fuel was going to be kind of a big deal again. So I don't have the carrying capacity. Cool. Let's use my trash slots for like the first time in a long while. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a lot of nuclear fuel. I'm pretty sure there was some on the other train over there as well. The artillery train is just sitting around doing nothing. That's fine. The build train is also somewhere else. We've got a lot of different grids at the moment. We're just running over rail. Okay, fine. Yeah, so let's go all the way back out here and then talk about some... Yeah, on the way back, talk about the rest of the ratios that kind of make up this kind of disastrous mess. So yeah, so we've got beaconed oil refineries, we've got an unbeaconed oil refinery that just has some efficiency modules in it. That should give us the protium we need to run the heating units at more or less maximum speed. These thermochemical separators are super interesting because they can have efficiency modules, like we've given them efficiency modules, but they take heat from heat pipes like a nuclear reactor. So these efficiency modules that are in the thermochemical separators are not just, like, they don't improve electrical efficiency, they don't make it easier on the power grid, they make it easier on the nuclear reactors that are generating the heat, which is super interesting. But yeah, one of the issues I was looking at is, in order to get the amount of stuff that the Star Engine needs, running this oil refinery at a crafting speed of 3, we also needed to get these thermochemical separators also up to a crafting speed of 3. And doing that with speed modules meant that their heat usage was like so obscene that we needed a vast power grid to do this. And actually still in the case where, yeah, this is still, I mean, the power grid usage is still pretty bad. These, when the other beacons in here kick in, these go up to speed 2, and these ones are still on speed 1. But yeah, this beaconed energy efficiency is pretty good, like minus 80%, 30 megawatts here. I think this one was a lot more. I remember figuring out that I needed a 2x2 reactor to power all of this stuff, which is wild because the neighborhood bonuses coming out of these things are obscene. But also the 4th reactor wasn't really doing much. But also I couldn't get rid of the 4th reactor because I needed the neighborhood bonus for the other ones to be able to keep up with what this was all doing. So yeah, so that's continued misses. Oh, and then it's on the ground over there. Okay. Let's try and remember that that's there, and then get this stuff somewhat out of our inventory. Sorry, fish, because we're gonna need all that space. Let's put all of these oh, I was doing this in, yeah, this is why I was doing, I mean, partly the Spidertron was moving around building this extra grid for me. partly also, so that's all done now. We've got all of, yeah, we've got all of these things in place, which is good because it means, oh wait, somewhere there was, it wasn't that one. Wasn't that one either, because that had, yeah, it was this one. Is going to go like here. Yeah, and we can see from all the red things there, this blueprint with all of the landfill that lets these thermochemical separators sit nice and close to the rest of these constructions, it invalidates a lot of the places where these offshore pumps would be. And one of the tricky things was figuring out in a small footprint how to get all these offshore pumps nice and close to the thermochemical separators, figuring out how to get the fluid flow through that we needed. We're also just going to do this. Actually, we're just gonna connect this to. We're gonna pretend that this place is important enough to need this kind of. I'm one reactor short. Okay, fine. We'll go back down here. We will also make the same call over here that we would like these things to be connected up like so, and then we shall, you guys are going to need a lot, just generally a lot, but you two are only going to need a couple, because the entire goal of this is to generate a bunch of heat. Yeah, because normally these are 300 megawatts each, which is fine. So having the other two on the outside means that basically we've got another 840 megawatts to start heating this thing. Because the other weird thing about this, yeah, especially, like the number I was expecting for this one wasn't 30 megawatts as usual, so I think it ends up about 130 when the other modules in here are doing the thing, making everything go fast. In fact, I wonder if there's a, I mean, it's going to be a red chips in the main thing again, because it always is, but I wonder if I've got, yeah, I've got 20k over here. You go over there, then we can actually see what these numbers are, and then, yeah, getting enough red chips in here is still going to be a thing. Let's also check that the red chips we just made, or at least the red chips, yeah, the red chips we put back here are now still doing their thing. Yeah, this is back to the normal performance it was. We've saved a lot of beacons, so that's fine. And then over here, so we're back on fully speed beaconed like intent for this, and this thing is 135 megawatts of power, which is a lot for one building. Like, oh, I didn't get the other oil refineries. Cool, good job. Yeah, in terms of how many exchanges this is worth, if you're thinking about this as a regular nuclear power plant, this is like 13 exchanges, just sucking heat out of these two bits of pipe. So that's also kind of why there's some redundancy around here, because getting enough heat to these guys was a bit of a pain. Also because because these thermochemical separators are buildings that have multiple fluid inputs and outputs, you can't mirror them, you can only rotate them, which, because they've also got the heat ports on one side, makes all of this a little bit of an annoyance. In a way that's just like, you know, it's fine, that's how puzzle games work. I think I want these things to be powered like so, because I think that looks good. And then, yeah, you guys aren't nearly done yet. Is there anything else that I need? Maybe not. Anyway, let's stand in this thing for a moment, and then go and do, yeah, this is the green chips build that we want to be working towards. Cooling unit topside, kind of. This is iron, yeah, and then iron. Okay, cool. And then protium is just, yeah, normally the same. These things are still not up to temperature, sure. Yeah, so we want to get another of these green chips builds in here, and it's going to be, you know, we're going to grab the prelude that we made previously, if I can find it again. Here it is, and this kind of thing. Okay, not all of that, actually. It's going to look something not entirely dissimilar to this, but where do we... Yeah, I haven't really thought about how it's going to connect to all of the other train stations yet. But the thing we do want to do is we want to make, this is going to be entirely bot based. So these logistics requests are going to all request copper, and that's going to be how these guys get their copper. And then because, yeah, this thing is going to tile out to the left, and maybe also the right, not entirely sure, we've just got to plug a bunch of things in at this point. These substations have to be essentially kind of over here. That one only just covers what it needs to, and this one also only just covers what it needs to, and they don't actually touch each other either, which is interesting. Okay, can you just like slightly not be in my way? Yeah, okay, sure. And then I guess, I mean, if this is the tiling part, then that means, okay, so this here is kind of a nice tiling scale because it's also the complete coverage of one substation. So I think we're going to go with that. Is this also looks like it's exactly halfway between these because we still have to do the thing where we actually convert this into plates. Are you guys? Oh yeah, because I sent you away. Come back. So some of these are running. Are you still? No, you're still actually. Oh no, you're just now out of fuel. Okay, good. Because I did kind of want you guys to be out of fuel. So that, I mean, at this point, all of those can more or less run. I also wanted to get this one over here, and then, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. This is one of the reasons why I did like large amounts of this design and construction and stuff between episodes, because a lot of it is realizing I needed a thing, then I also didn't have a thing, and then, oh yeah, and then all the stuff, all these things, all this stuff is also what I need for the rest of the build. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, realizing that I needed a thing or otherwise didn't have a thing or had to go back to the mall to get a thing and all that was kind of, you know, not particularly ideal. We can use kind of any... Yeah, we kind of use any fuel for those guys, kind of whatever. You guys have 2 of each of those and you guys can run for a bit, and then we can also get some heat in here. And yeah, then we have to figure out how we're turning those things into plates, because and then also exactly how much of the stuff we want, because we previously had like this much, but also we're beaconing it a lot harder than we were previously, because in the prelude build we only had 2 of these beacons and each of these things was speeding up to like 3 like this, whereas when we are doing this kind of stuff, each of these buildings ends up a bit faster because they're getting hit by more beacons. I think this one hits this building. This one hits this building. Okay, so 3 beacons is what we're getting on each of these, but then also it's 3 beacons, each giving 3 beacons worth of normal effects. So this direct insertion thing is still like we're getting 9 beacons per assembler, which is pretty bizarre. And then also we need to do a thing where we're just going to do all of this with... We're just going to do all of this with stack inserters as well, because why not? So you guys can all go there, and this is going to be... that way. That way around, yeah. Yeah, we can set up those requests later. The thing I'm not sure about is exactly how many of these I need, but the thing that I do know is that once all these things are in place, so I guess we should go and do that. Yeah, go back to the main and get all the other oil refineries and stuff. Can I have all of these? Can you have some landfill and I can have these? What did I want the active providers for? Maybe something, I don't remember. But yeah, by the time... Like this... Because also these beacons will get faster as well. Are we up to temperature yet? We are close to getting up to temperature, fine. And yeah, we've got to... Oh, because this one here also wants... Yeah, and then getting stuck on all this stuff. Cool, cool. Yeah, something like that. yeah, so we did at least see some Star Engine running, and we saw this do some stuff, and now it's in fact full and waiting. Okay, so cool. So we know that this pattern does work and does do a thing, and in fact I just need to go back and get the 3 of those. Do I need... Yeah, and then there's just a lot more stuff to do, isn't there? There's so much more stuff to do. Let's actually leave... What am I going to definitely need here? I'm definitely going to need all of those. I'm definitely going to need the train stuff. Interesting. I want to keep these 2 personal trains, because, you know, we've got to go places. Is that the right way? Yeah, it's the right way. I should bring more train fuel as well. But then, yeah, prod mod 3s, we want to... Do we want to leave prod mod 3s? I think we're good for prod mod 3s. Whatever, we're going to leave them there anyway. Landfill we want to leave. Nuclear fuel stuff we want to leave. Okay, that should free us some inventory space. Because we've got to go... After all this, I was facing the wrong way. All the way back to the core. Cool. So yeah, so this should be hopefully everything we need. Why is this? Oh, because I guess these aren't up to temperature yet. Yeah, these are only just starting. Yeah, so actually that was the other quirk, wasn't it? Because... Yeah, because... Where is it? Is it this... Yeah, there's the iron recipe in the Star Engine, which needs... these are not the real iron recipes I wanted to look at. This iron recipe needs 26,000 protium. This copper recipe needs 29,000 protium, but we're actually only making it at the same rate of 13,000 because we've got 1 heating unit going in the side. And between that and the other consequence of when we're doing copper like this, we're still getting, like, without any productivity in the coils, we would need 1.5 copper per iron because chips ratios. With this productivity, we need like 1.4 to 1.5 or something. The ratio is a little bit more complicated, but the point being, we still need more copper than we need more iron. And we're also still copper limited because of the Star Engine ratio, which means for the iron case, we don't actually need this thing here. This is the, like, lower intensity 1000 per second. We don't need that to be present at all. And in fact, we don't even need this thermochemical separator to be here at all either. Like, these ones handling... Well, with lots of beacons again, yeah, okay, fine. These ones will be enough. But that just means we need another 2 oil refineries, which I can probably just grab from them all. Right, where are the oil? Over here. Sure, we'll grab 5. And then I also wanted train fuel. Grab a bunch of train fuel. I think, let's get some signals and some chain signals, because we're going to do a bunch of station stuff, because we are currently nearly making green chips, but we also, like, just making green chips by itself, not fantastic. I think I also maybe want a bunchable landfill, so let's get that as well. Yeah, because once we're making a lot of green chips, we also want to put them on trains. In fact, we want to start replacing... Where are the green chips? That's the labs. Is this one? That's the engines. I thought there was another green... Oh, this one here, isn't it? Nope, that's copper. Yeah, this green chips. We want to start... I think what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of this station and this station. And then I guess also these boxes of train fuel, which means we're going to run down these chests, which is fine. We're eventually going to run down these chests as well, which is also fine. Oh, the other thing we want to do here, although not yet, is get rid of this. Actually, doesn't matter. Do it now, do it later. We still got to do it before. Yeah, get rid of this combinator so that a train will still turn up here even if there's like half a train's worth of green chips to fully empty out this station. And that's not going to matter until we are at a point where we've got you know, less than a train's worth of stuff here. Oh well. Yeah, this is a pretty decent green chips build. It's using the tier 2 beacons, which is, you know, fine. We're not getting quite the productivity we would like. There's still a lot of belt stuff. It's probably fine. It does have all of the station stuff, and so I think one of the reasons why I like this setup as let's do this with the spider because yeah, yeah. One of the reasons why I like this setup as a late game thing is there's no other stations bringing stuff in. Like there's no okay, there's like train fuel, and then we're gonna have to do something about the deuterium and the tritium coming out here as well, because we're making so much of this stuff that we may as well, like it's gonna be a big source of things. Where you guys all, oh yeah, I guess because you're full, yeah, and then you're also full, yeah, and then these tanks are full. Okay, so that's fine. I'm happy with how that has worked out, and then that means that we just need to, yeah, because the other thing that struck me is I could have actually, like, all of this fluid management is a bit of a disaster, but these, yeah, that's why I was doing it on Spidertron. Yeah, this side of the fluid management is still a bit of a disaster because 13 per second is still a lot, but the output side of the star engine is fine because we're still looking at 500 copper a second, and also the super interesting thing about that is. I think the air quotes casting is done. Yeah, the casting is done. Oh, this is the copper side, isn't it? The casting is done in just regular assemblers, but also goes really quickly. I don't think we can module this. We can Gauss module this. Interesting. But also it's 1-to-1 copper plates to like atomic copper, let's call it, which means that the fluid that's here would be really, really good. Like, could be a really effective thing to move around on a train, even though the molten copper isn't. But yeah, but I reckon we just like, I guess I mean, the thing is, when we turn this on, we're committing to having this in some place, but also whatever. I'd also just like to get this thing running. So let's come up with somewhere we can come up with a pattern. Do I have enough of these boxes? Yeah, come up with a pattern that I like for... Why do I not have... Does the Spidertron have these? Yeah, we want to unpack a lot of copper, we want to put it in these boxes, we want to have some kind of power grid, and then also we don't really have to worry so much about the fluids on this side of it because this is still 500 per second for the entire star engine, and then we need 6 of these, although if we give this, we could go like... the thing I do need to worry about then is what is the throughput of the stack inserter? Because I was thinking about doing, you know, we'll do something like this. We'll have this as speed 2, that's fine. And we're now going 500 units in 3 seconds. Actually less than that, because this thing is crafting speed 2.5. It's not just crafting speed 2. And I don't know exactly how many... Maybe that keeps up. But then the question is, where do I want these in relation to... Because I kind of want them close to... This is actually still going to be vastly more than I need, isn't it? Because I don't think this... I think this green chips build is vastly more than the star engine is kicking out. Sure, we're going to do like 1 there and 1 here and 1 here. That does mean that if I take this green chips build further out to the side, that I am kind of like, these pipes are going to kind of be in the way, but oh well. And then, actually, the other thing to check that's kind of important, I have no logistics bots in this network, which is kind of a big deal. Okay. let's do... Okay, so this is actually in a pretty bad place. Let's slide that over by one tile, because that makes that easier. And then we can have... Why do we not have underground pipes? I guess maybe the Spidertron has underground pipes? Okay, we're just going to move all of this again. It's going to be fine. There's nothing in it yet. Then we could just go... then I have these. Did I even need... I didn't actually need these at all, because we're just inside substation range. So it's fine. So all of that is running and good, and then all of these are just... It's like, are we... Okay, so with one speed module, the stack inserters are managing to empty everything by the time the next 500 arrive. Okay, so that's pretty nice. So we're now depositing vast amounts of copper around the place. Okay, let's do the same with the iron. Yeah, this one, we had this like here, and then we had... yeah, okay, fine. I might need... Oh, this is going to annoy me if the thing I don't have after all of this is underground pipe. That's going to be a bit silly. Yeah, iron, and then more of this here, and then some more of this. Oh, this wasn't actually a full extension, was it? It was like this pattern. Something like that, whatever. Don't even really mind how much of this we're caching at the moment. Maybe Spidertron has some of this? I mean, we are still in a grid, so the very large grid mall, even though it's a long way away, should be able to bring us the pipes we did. And yeah, now we've got everything working. We've got a fully operational star engine. Well, okay, half operational. We've only got one of the heating arms working. But this is not perpetually fueled. Okay, so we've got some of the stuff running, but not really. We've got a bunch of problems. We're not actually building anything because we don't have the logistics bots. We are still in the main network. So actually the thing we need to do is these ones definitely need to go away. We need to snap this section off the rest of the logistics grid so that the bots we put in this logistics network will occupy themselves purely with moving this iron and copper around, which is going to be... Oh, Spidertron can get over that, okay. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of bot work, moving... Yeah, and then all these guys are complaining because we are taking away the main RoboGrid support. Even that is a lot of... this one here as well. This is these tier 2 RoboPorts having huge ranges is, when we're trying to do Logimall stuff, actually kind of a disadvantage. But yeah, the thing So we've got to take these ones away, and then we've got to... not that, which is good, because I was out of range. And we finished... I think that's... Yeah, this is still in the theme of... We are working towards... Yeah, this is the last of... In terms of the next main exotic matter stage, we've now got all of the prep done, and we're doing the last of the Star Engine material text, which is actually as expensive as Star Engine itself. Star Engine 100k, then they start at 10 and they kind of work up through how expensive they are. So we are getting into like the big research. Okay, the first big research check of the end game. There's all the stuff as well, but immediately after this are like texts that are pretty accessible. A couple of thousand, 10,000 or so, even, yeah, so this is the highest tier module in the game, and costs 40,000. Okay, there's exotic science in there as well. We'll get around to that in a bit. But yeah, the thing I was thinking is, because I'm I'm pretty sure that in the main base, I was good for everything except... Yeah, I've got significant surpluses of everything except purple science. And so I think what we're actually, and also everything is slow because I don't have the red chips. I think what we're going to do is we're going to research a weapons deck. We're going to just throw some electric energy weapons damage in there because, like, there aren't any more biters in this run at all, but we're going to continue to pretend that at some point there kind of might be. And we did also like do a kind of mega base for this military tech, so we're going to use some of it. That'll make me feel better about things. And yeah, the thing I was wondering is, yeah, can we have, will Spidertron actually straddle the Star Engine? That leg arrangement is not great. Maybe the Spidertron will straddle the Star Engine. Yeah, the Spidertron is not super happy about it. It's quite a large building. But Spidertron will... Because I reckon this is also going to be like a kind of decent thumbnail. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, so Star Engine doing Star Engine things. That's nice. And then, yeah, so we've got to put this in its own dedicated Roboport network. Can we even use the big advanced Roboports at all? I don't know that we can. Because they're just so big that they just automatically connect to all of the other Roboports that we really don't want them to. Like, these ones over here are... It actually also has to go. Because one of those provider things is in the wrong network. So this one has to go. The other one can stay... But we need, yeah, we need both of these to be complaining because they both need to be in the, this is just the Roboport network that is purely for, yeah, and then we've got to find somewhere that covers, so it's gonna be like over here somewhere. In fact, there's a couple of things to do here. Where are, yeah, okay, sure. Make this smaller, because the other thing we've not done yet is we need a way to get the protium... We need a way to get the protium and deuterium out, which is currently just... Okay, so this... Like we're... yeah, and then also because I don't think we have the underground pipes for this at the moment, do we? Because we were getting underground pipes from the build with the mall, but never mind. Yeah, so we can get... Then do we have... Oh, because... Sure, because this was the way this other... Yeah, so we need to get... We need to... Like, we're making so much of this protium to do this whole thing that it just made sense to also be collecting rather than discarding this stuff. But... Yeah, now we need to figure out... places where these things can go, and it needs to be just in the middle of this garbage. Okay, sure. I suspect at this point we go, you know, most of the Titans is done, and we just go into... just, like, not worrying about whether or not things are good or not, and just crushing them in. And apparently need more landfill there? Okay, whatever. We'll just landfill all of that. Yeah, this has got to be in a position where we cover all of these chests. But then also we need to get Roboport coverage over all of these things. Did I have... Did I leave... I left all those things... There's a box down here with useful stuff, didn't I? Yeah, okay, yeah. I want a bunch of these. Because we've got to get... Yeah, we need... I think here is going to be... Yeah, I didn't really think about... and then... Do these ones need to go as well? I think they already need to go. This is already a linked network. They already need to go. Cool. I think we're going to... Okay. I think we're going to need to lean on charging stations as well. Like, these things don't actually have any build radius. They don't connect stuff. But we will need... to be able to get a lot more bots, a lot more charging capacity through here, because we're going to do some pretty silly things with them. Yeah, so let's have... Did I even bring advanced roboport charging stations? I did not bring all that many charging stations, which is a shame, because I think I'm going to need... I thought they were 2x2, they're not. In that case, we're going to have this kind of silliness, because I think we're going to need a lot of charging. And then... here and there, that's the pattern that we're going with, apparently. Then, yeah, so here, just here, is a spot where I can get this box in range, so now I can build with these things, which is fine. And then I think this is... okay, no, this is nearly done, but actually not quite done. We've also got to get... and it's going to be... I think we have to do this with 2 roboports, because it's... I don't think I've left enough space in between... maybe I've left enough space between those buildings. I don't really need to worry about... no, I have in fact not left enough space between those 2 buildings. Okay, sure. Yeah, so we'll have one of these guys like... yeah, because it also can't be so close that it connects to the lower roboports. So it has to be... yeah, like here. So, cool. And that's got almost all of them, but then we need another roboport kind of over... ah, we don't have all the pipes. Cool. Another roboport somewhere over here, which can't go that far. Has to be here-ish. We had to have to do a lot of juggling just to make sure these roboports don't connect. But that's fine. Okay. Sure. Okay, so these requests need to be set up. Why are we seeing... ah, because it's just super close to one of the other ranges. Not sure why we're seeing both robogrids when we hover over those. These... okay, I've got these grids touching somewhere, don't I? This is not great. But I'm not actually sure where they're touching. It looks like there's a thin boundary everywhere, and that these things are... yeah, so this is just one roboport. I think we're mostly fine. Okay, so do I have... where are my robots at? Did I leave all the robots here? Did I leave all the robots over here? Because we should hopefully be about to build a lot of green ships. Except that, yeah, we need these things. How much copper should we request? Let's request 1,000 copper each, because we're going to have a lot. Yeah, this is kind of what we expected. And then over here, we want these guys to request, say, 1,000 iron. Normal things. Copy this thing here and put it there, and then grab this pattern and put it there, and now we should have a bot build. Bot builds you can't usually do with the level of bot speed that I have, but it's working here because we've got the mod bot upgrades that are just faster than usual. Like, my bot speed is still only 7. Like, I don't even have bot speed 8 yet. But I also didn't know how many of these bots I would need. But we're apparently getting this done well enough Like, I gave them 400 bots. I thought I was going to give them more bots than that. But we are now... All of these guys are running. All of these guys are running. Oh yeah, these things are not actually at full speed because we don't have all the red chips. But that's going to be our new green chips build. We can extend that a bit. We still need train stations, and I think we're going to do... Can we do train stations over here? Like, where is... I think we can do train stations over here. Is there enough space to put in... See, let's also just go back and look at the train stations we used for the ceramics, because maybe we can... I actually reckon this might fit. I reckon this might fit if we grab... Because this is... Like, this amount of this is the train pattern that we need to get these ships in, right? And we could have this even, like, here? Except for... Yeah, okay, so we're going to see if we can make this work. We're going to try and hack this in, because that's where we are now. Star Engine doing nice Star Engine things, which is cool. You have... Yeah, have I even overestimated the number of... That was not a useful number of these modules to put down. Yeah, put down all those things. I think we can have... I think we're actually going to do this one at a time, because we want these to be slightly further apart for reasons. And then... I'm pretty sure there's a friendly spider somewhere helping me with stuff as well. And then, yeah, so this is going to be where our new green ship station goes. The other issue is that these are also only ever turning... Yeah, these are only ever turning away. But I think that's probably fine. I still don't think I mind that much. And then, yeah, I think that's going to be... I think that's mostly going to do what we need. I just also want to look quickly at, you know, production for the last hour. What's happened to our green chips production? It's not actually gone... I mean, it's jumped, but it's not really done a huge amount more than we were expecting. And then also I want to look at, like, what is... Yeah, figuring out the Star Engine usage is not super convenient, because there's different parts, and then one of these things, one of the Star Engines I've got two of, quite significant power usage. And then where's my K2 energy providers? Stellar diffusion generators, yeah. So my stellar diffusion generators are, you know, doing all of the generation, but still also using most... They're the thing that's using the most power in my entire network. Because sustaining fusion reactions, you know, pretty difficult. The Star Engines are... I think, yeah, this one here is, you know, the Star Engines are already pulling out some pretty decent effort. I mean, they do use... And you can't module them either, which makes sense. They're just like, yeah, just pull another gig of energy out of this thing. Anyway, let's... Do I have... I don't think I'm going to be copying much of the station design from these things, am I? No, probably just that much of a thing. In fact, if this... actually, neither of those. This is as much as I want of this, because the station separations are also slightly further apart. So yeah, so we're going to have... This is not have ceramics. This is going to be have... This is going to be have green chips. We already have green chips. Have greens. But also without a... Oh yeah, with a train station limit of 2. Which I think I might want to... I think I want to see if I can change this around. Oh yeah, and then also we've got to build these things differently, because we already snapped this off the main logistics grid. Cool, gonna have to build this all separately. Yeah, because we've got, for example, one of these trains, which is gonna go, you know, here, and we can have more of these trains now. And then I think the way we're just going to run this is 4 of these. Probably we can do 4. And we're just going to do the same thing of just request... We just request 2,000 chips in each of these things. And bots are just going to distribute all of these as well. Is that even... We can get away with more than 2,000 here, can't we? We can do like 4,000. I mean, there's other things we could do where we could have these request only what they needed to together fill a carriage, and then also have buffers that, and then make these active providers instead of passive providers, but whatever. I think we're just going to go, we're just going to do this. And we're going to have bots have a nice time. We're going to do that. This is, you know, kind of what we expected would happen. Where is... That is a spot that will... Okay. So now we've got... maybe I should have... Should we have this train station further down here so that we can get... I think we should either have the train station further down so that I can get another train in. 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, no, I'm not going to be... Even if that train... Even if the train station shuffles forward a little, I'm not getting any more trains in there. Which means that I think I should... Like, where would... One locomotive... Yeah, I think here is where we want that other train station. Yeah, so here's where we want the parking train to be. And then we actually want... You guys don't request anything. Thanks. Yeah, and then we're gonna do some of this kind of hacky garbage. Oh well. Just kind of get these green chips out of the way. Because we want this... Because this train is currently waiting until it's filled with green chips, and then it will go again. And that also means that we can... Yeah, it's now full, oh, except it's not going anywhere. Cool, and this one is probably also full. And that one was also not full. Okay, so now... Yeah, because I want... Because if the train stations are up here, then this... Then here to here is a slightly longer delivery distance than if this was like in line with this thing. So that's why this is back here. And then we want to do... Yeah, get rid of all of this stuff. Yeah, sure. And then... Yeah, we can drop these as well and figure out where... Can you... Oh, you don't have any... You don't have any... Yeah, you don't have any fuel. But now... Yeah, you can... I just kind of need you out the way at the moment. So just, like, go over there. Thanks. Actually, over here. Where is the spider? Should the spider not be helping me with this stuff? There we go. Did I have my bots turned off? Did I... Oh, no, they're in... They're... Yeah, my bots are in this network. Cool. Okay. Oh no, wait. These bots are waiting for storage. Those were the bots that I gave to the network that then the network still doesn't have any storage, and so yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. So let's figure out where this can go, because we want this signal to not exist, because this is going to be the last signal, so there. That is in fact a good place for it, isn't it? And then we also want to just landfill all this stuff. And then, oh yeah, then... Okay, you actually, yeah, so this is going to be, okay, sure, whatever. yeah, and then we want to put this pattern back, and we're just going to do the same kind of thing. I mean, the Spidertron probably has all of these. It's probably fine. Here, and then actually, let's set these requests up. Okay, so we are super close to having... I mean, in a sense, it's basically Starblock. Like, this is just a... Okay, so these guys are out, so we're kind of low on copper, whatever. We also need to set up a train that will deliver that stuff. And this is just a node in my building, in my base, that will take seawater. Yeah, that'll take seawater here, and through nuclear fission energy be separated into, yeah, hydrogen, and the oxygen just disappears, processed into a like a workable form of hydrogen, which we then fuse into either iron or copper, that we turn via a bot build into green chips on site, which we then load into a lot of trains. And I think we can just go hard on this. I think we can just go there, and then also... I didn't actually... There was a tree in the way. Nope, neither of those are in the right place. And then this one is also... Yeah, you also could just go away, would be good. Oh, but you're going to come back, aren't you? The same reason the other one did. Yeah. So we can have now... This is going to need to not be there. We can have a lot of green chips. And I think I figured out that this is... Okay, this is going to kind of annoy me, but never mind. We're going to do kind of a shimmy thing in here. This guy is requesting train fuel. Yeah, cool. So this is going to be the new train fuel build we do. Do we have... So there's still a bunch of things I need. I don't have all the request chests. I've got to finish off that build. And we need to somewhere else have a train station that will have... So we've got the train station in the main that will bring the nuclear fuel for these things which we need. There's still quite a lot of copper in here, and then there's also just quite a lot of chips around here, so I don't even need to worry about getting this running again particularly quickly. We can now also do somewhere there was a second green chips build. Was it this one? It was. So we can also just get rid of this stuff now, because we don't need to be taking materials there now that we can make green chips from seawater without any materials. Yeah, there's 2 more train stations to do here. We've got to bring in fuel from this and also deal with waste from this. Where is the... Yeah, that's kind of a nuisance, isn't it? Because I kind of want... I'm thinking about putting another train in down this side, but if I'm bringing fuel from the nuclear fuel train to these reactors with logibots, then we've also got to still make sure everything is... Oh, no, it should be fine. If we have the train down this side and the outputs on this side, that'll work. And then we also have to have somewhere the other source of stuff we're not doing anything yet is this deuterium and this tritium, of which we are now getting quite a lot, because it turns out, you know, doing 13,000 a second twice gives you quite the side outputs. And we also need a lot more train stations. Yeah, this is the other issue, isn't it? I can't actually... Okay, other than getting stuck on things, we can't... Oh no, I can. I did get rid of those. Okay, good. So that means we can have more of these roboports through here. Let's at least, like, line them up with where these things are. This is probably not enough roboports. I have not done a whole lot of bot builds in my time, but I think we can also just wedge in more of these charging stations. You know, whatever. We'll worry about exactly how many. I think this... Yeah, so we need to bring There's a bunch of new stuff I need to bring. There's a couple of other train stations that aren't going to be super interesting. I think I'm still pretty happy with that as progress for a thing, though, because now we are... Can I grab this? Yes. Yeah, now we are... Because I think I figured out the amount of stuff coming out. Yeah, especially if this is... If we're getting 500 a second, that is a lot, given that one blue belt is 45 a second. This is like 11 blue belts worth of materials. So if we get... And I don't think I have enough manufacturing in the middle yet, but if we scale this out a bit to the left, like out here or something, if we get a couple of beacon upgrades, this might be able to turn into something that, or at least Star Engine will handle it, the bottlenecks are elsewhere, and this could end up being like 11 blue belts of iron and copper getting turned into green chips in this one grid, which is pretty good. It's pretty wild. I just need to go and like go back and pick up everything else. And we did have all of these things. Oh, that's, yeah, okay, so there's actually another, there is another train I need to get in here, isn't there? There's also a train fuel train, because these are not going to be, maybe I just don't worry about train fuel here. Maybe we worry about train fuel on the other side of wherever green chips are getting unloaded, because otherwise I would need also a train just bringing in the fuel, because by construction, this little single Roboport grid is not in the rest of the grid that will have the fuel. So that's... Yeah, and then there's also a way I need to bring all these things rather than get them from the wall, because we've already just kind of, done that. Oh well. Yeah, lots of things going. We have... Yeah, it's not even a particularly large rate yet. Oh well. We can just do more of this. Yeah, sure, fine. Lots of things getting made. Lots of things going fast, pretty quickly. We'll just finish this build, and then on the next road to red chips, we've done. So where's red chips? We've got a lot of ceramics on the opposite side of the base, which is a bit of a thing, but never mind. We've got a lot of green chips now. We need a lot of plastic. A lot of plastic is going to be the next interesting challenge, and is going to be, yeah, the thing that I'll probably again take a while coming up with a nice plan like this one, because it's all fluids management-y stuff. But yeah, next time lots of plastics and then red chips, and we've now got a lot of green chips. Pretty happy with this.